Praise Lord, saints. I was fighting in my mind whether I should talk about this because it is very personal. And it's something that essentially I had to realize that it's something I'm still fighting. Still fighting. As Paul said, I haven't already apprehended this. Haven't reached it. I haven't attained it yet. I'm still pressing towards that mark. But it could be thought of maybe as somewhat embarrassing, somewhat, I should have known. Maybe it was just something I have to really think about. But I wasn't quite sure. The Lord told me that if I say something about it, then hopefully someone else would feel as if they're going through the same thing and they're not to be embarrassed or they're not to feel as if they've let God down. But should I learn later of what God wants me to do? Perhaps. But it's something that I am bringing to you now that hopefully you'll learn from me and maybe you'll do better than I. One of the things that I didn't realize, but I know now, that afflicted me throughout this ordeal with my wife. I call it an ordeal because you have to understand is an ordeal. It's not that I wouldn't do it if I had my chances. No, I'd do it all over again to be with my wife. It's something that you do because this is what you're committed to. And I love her. The love drives me to do that. That doesn't make me great, doesn't make me even good. It just makes me do what I'm supposed to do. But the thing that really got me, the thing that really I think, until very recently, like in the last several days, when someone said something about it, the thing that got me about this was essentially the fact that I was overwhelmed. I was overwhelmed. And still am to a certain extent. That I finally began to realize it, and now I can make plans as to how to chop down the tasks that I am facing. That just because things happen in your life doesn't mean that everything else is suspended. No. You have to pay the bills. You have to clean the house. You have to make sure everything else is running. Because if you don't, the house falls apart. You end up having to leave your house. You end up essentially letting everything down if you don't deal with the issues that are in front of you. Whether they deal with household, whether they deal with financial, whether it's bills, whether it's taxes, whether it's anything else. You have to deal with essentially giving the right medications because now you're the one who's in charge of the medications. You're the one that has to choose. You're the one that has to make sure the medicines are given at the right time. You can't forget it. At the same time, you also have to remember that you yourself, you have to take care of yourself as well. Because if you don't take care of yourself and you go down the tubes, then who's going to take care of your loved one? So I have to admit, all this time, It's not an easy thing to admit either. It's not. But I had to admit it, like confession. You have to take responsibility for it. You have to understand that it's happening to you. You can't deny it. It's like, no, that's not. No, that's exactly what's going on. And you can't just wish it away. You can say, oh, Lord's got it. He's got it. Yes, he's got it. But how do you feel? And yes, I am overwhelmed. Not necessarily in the way that I'm retreating to a corner or I'm balling up into a fetal position. But I have to realize it before I can attack it. The things that we've had to face before my wife suffered her stroke, they were pretty substantial. And there were some things I took over that the things that were the most problematic, the ones that affected us the most, I took those over. And the Lord brought me through it. Gave me knowledge and a mind to understand what needed to be done, and it was done. Sometimes I didn't know how things would happen. Like, for instance, I had no idea before all this was taking place that I had to deal with power of attorney. But every time I kept going through and saying how I had to see what my wife's bills were doing, how mine was doing, how she was taken care of and whatever. They said, oh, you need a power of attorney to see it. You need the power of attorney to see it. You need the power of attorney to see it. So I finally got one. And it makes my job so much easier to understand that nothing is hidden from me now. I can understand, even if it's in her name, I can see those things and be able to resolve those situations. But there are some that essentially, I must admit, I let go. Didn't think about it anymore because it was just too overwhelming. But just not thinking about it doesn't mean it stopped. It comes back, and it may come back even harder because you didn't take care of it. And now time brings forth its costs. So I have to deal with these things now. There are certain things that people can see. I was so grateful that I had caregivers to come in. But there was one or two that really pointed it out to me. Like there was a neighbor down the street. What she would do, she would come by and she would give us, she would almost like clockwork every day around 8 o'clock or so. She would come by, give us breakfast. Same thing all the time, but I'm not complaining. It's eggs, French toast, bacon. And for Sister Heyman, it's chopped up into pieces so she can take it and eat it and not have to worry about having long things fall out of her mouth. But she's the one that told me. And I would apologize. I don't like to look at my house. It looks junky. It's a mess. And to be honest, I would have to admit some parts of my house are almost the same as it was when I left to take Sister Heyman on our vacation. It was supposed to have been a cruise. And then 2 days in the cruise, she suffered her stroke. And from there, we spent 2 months in Florida. Couldn't get home for 2 months. By the time I got home, these things were here. This is not for me to blame anyone, to blame those who are living in my house. I should have took care of my house. You should have done it. No. They were doing what they could. They were grieving as well. And they had their own things they had to do. I was to take care of this stuff, not them. Me. I'm not trying to blame myself, but I have to be frank with myself. It was my responsibility. And because of everything that happened, my main thing was making sure Sister Hamer was fine, making sure she wasn't going back in the hospital, making sure she didn't throw up, making sure she didn't have any more seizures, making sure that she essentially didn't have any more strokes, making sure that all these things are playing on my mind, and I had to do it. And then at the same time, my back is getting worse and worse and worse. I couldn't carry anything. So I couldn't go and clean stuff because I couldn't even carry anything. My back was killing me. So I had to wait until surgery, which I just had over the past several months. Not to mention, I had prostate cancer. And I had to make sure that was taken care of first. First the cancer, then my neck, then my back. And the Lord's been so gracious. He's been so gracious. Whatever financial situation took up, we've been able to meet it. In some cases with the help of others, and I thank God for the help that the Lord has given us. I thank each and every one that has given. I really do appreciate it. I really do. Now comes the point that we have to make decisions on, is my back now strong enough to go back to what I had been doing and what I want to do? I have to clean out my storage. I don't even go to storage anymore. Most things that are in storage have been there for about 2 years. I think I opened it once, which lets me know we really don't need those things. But I've been putting it off. Well, I've been paying on it. So why do you keep paying on things that you don't need? Makes no sense, right? You would think so. And if I was in regular position, I would have started some time ago. Would have been done. Would not have to worry about storage fees. Because wouldn't have needed storage fees. Either would have been put back in the house, or would have been sold, maybe a garage sale, maybe it would be taken down to the city dump, whatever. But these were the things that, again, were left behind because of feeling overwhelmed. Now, I wasn't going to stop living saved. I wasn't going to stop doing the work for Christ. But at the same time, I had to make decisions about what do I focus on now? And is it right for those things to be left as they are? At this point, it's getting to the point where I have to now pick those things back up. So I want to ask you something, saints of God. I'm going to ask you to pray for me, that I make the right decisions, that I start doing the things that I need to do, that my back is strong enough to be able to carry things. There have been those who have been telling me, Elder Heyman, whatever you need me to do, I'll do it. I may have to go to that. So expect me to reach out for help. But at least I will then be able to address it and not put it on the back burner because I'm overwhelmed. But again, overwhelmed doesn't mean things stop. I learn what to do, and I learn which things are most important. But now the things that have been put to the side, I now have to pick those things up. And it's time now for me to deal with those particular things. But God's got me. He's got me. The Lord's going to deal with me. And he'll make it work all right. Because I trust him. I trust that even if I do not do things all right, God does things all right. He helps me in spite of myself. I may have to pay some extra things. But I'm not letting go of God. But I'm not letting go of God. That will never happen. Just know that. That God will never, ever be the one thing that slips from my mind. And God will help me to recover the things I need to recover. But I thought I just needed to make that confession, so to speak, that proclamation, that yes, ministers, elders, bishops, we can get overwhelmed. The difference is, number one, do we admit it? And number two, what are we going to do to attack it? That's my section now on number 2. I will attack it. Love you all, and may God bless you. In Jesus' name.